Morning students, welcome back to our online classes. So we were discussing about the chapter data structure. In the last session we discussed about stacks. So now we turn our attention to another linear data structure, that is queues. Moreover, stacks and queues are pretty much similar, but there are differences between stack and queues. Queues is also a linear data structure where the insertion takes at the one end, that is called as rear end, and the deletion takes at the another end, we call that end as a front end. So before getting into the definition, I repeat that queue is also same as your stack. It is a kind of linear data structure where the insertion and deletion takes place at two different ends. Whereas in stacks, the insertion and the deletion takes place at the same end, which we call it as a stack top. Now let me give you the definition. So the definition says that a queue is an ordered collection of items. It is again a linear data structure, and it is an ordered collection of items where the item is inserted at one end. We call that as a rear end, R-E-A-R. Okay, we call the end as rear end where we insert the element. That end is called as rear end, and existing item is removed at the other end. We call that end as a front end. I repeat, the insertion takes place in queues, we call that as rear end. The deletion takes place, we call that as the front end. So queue is maintained in a FIFO order. So I told you in the stacks it is maintained in the LIFO order, last in first out, whereas queue is called as first in first out. It is maintained in a first in first out order. FIFO, we call it as FIFO order. FIFO stands for first in first out. Queue stands in stacks, it is last in first out. I can give you the best example for queues is students standing in the food court. So when students are standing in the food court, when the food is served, the student moves out. So first come, first serve. Okay, who comes first, they will be served first. The student who are standing in the food court is the best example for queue. Now I have taken a queue example for queue. So here I am inserting an element. So in the through rear end I have inserted first A, B, C, D, E, F. So what is the element which I have inserted first is A. So when I delete from the front end, which element is popped up? A first, then B, then C, then D, then E, then F. So this is a kind of first in, first out. So what element I have inserted first, that will be popped first. I repeat, what element I have inserted first. Now A I have inserted first. Now A will be removed first. So only that is the main difference between stacks and queues. Both are linear data structure, but there we have a single end that is called as stack top. Here we have two ends that is called as rear end and front end. Through rear end we insert the elements, through front end we delete the elements. Okay. Next we'll see the types of queues. So I repeat, we were discussing about queues, so don't get confused. What is the definition for queues and stack? I just said stacks, I told you it is in a LIFO order, last in first out. Queues, that is in a first in first out FIFO order. So for the stacks we have only one end that is called as top. For queue we have two ends. One is called as rear end where insertion takes place. Next is called as front end where deletion takes place. I repeat, stack is also a linear data structure. We have discussed in the last class. It works in LIFO order, last in first out. Example, we are seeing the stacks of trays, stacks of plates which are used in the cafeterias or in the food court, and even your bangles. So what you insert first when you are removing the bangles, you will remove at the last. So that is last in first out. For queues I have given the examples. The students those are standing in the food court. So first come, first serve basis. So those who come first, they will be served first. So for this we have two ends, rear end and front end. Front end where they we used to insert the element, rear end where we used to insert the element, front end where we used to delete the elements of the queues. Okay. Now we have to see types of queues. So we have four types of queues. This is again your final question. Please make a note of it. So they'll ask you the types of queues. Okay. What are the types of queues? We have simple queue, circular queue, priority queue and double-ended queue. So what are the types of queues? We have simple queue, circular queue, priority queue and double-ended queue. We also call it as DQ. Okay. Next, we'll discuss one by one. So first I told you a simple queue. In simple queue where we used to insert the elements in this order, I tell you the simple queue. So simple queue, if you understand, rest all it will be easy. When I talk about simple queue, see, I have inserted the elements. Through which end we will insert? We insert the elements in the rear end. So in the rear end I have inserted the elements A, B, C, D. So the front end I will delete the elements. Okay, this is about a simple queue. So next I will discuss about circular queue, priority queue and D queue. Next, we were discussing about types of queues. First I spoke about simple queue. Next we will discuss about circular queue. So in a circular queue is again a type of queue where the first where we inserted, the first will point to the last, the element which we inserted at the last, that will be pointing again to your first node. So here you see in the circular queue, I am inserting the element. So once I inserted this, my fifth node, imagine my queue is ending here. Again it is in a circular fashion. Again it is pointing to my index 0. So here I start inserting the element. Now my index 6. Again it is pointing to the first node. It is pointing to the first item. I can tell circular queue is a queue with the last item, again it will be pointing to the first. Okay, the last will be pointing to the first element. We call that as a circular queue. Next we'll see we have discussed two types of queue, simple queue and circular queue. In simple queue what it is, we are inserting the elements at the rear end, we are deleting the elements at the front end. Where the addition of element takes place at the rear end, removal of addition takes place at the front end. In the circular queue again it is a type of queue where the last element will be followed by it will just follow your first element. So the index is as, for example I started with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again this is pointing to your first element. This is nothing but your circular queue. See, it is like this in this order where your last index again it will be pointing to your first index. So it works in a circular fashion. This is called as the circular queue. Next we will see priority queue and D queue. Students, next we will see about priority queue. This is your third type of queue. We have seen four types of queues: simple queue, circular queue. Now we will see priority queue. In the priority queue, based on some priority, we are going to insert the element, and the deletion also takes place based on some priority. It's we people, we are going to also assign some priority. Based on some priority, the elements enters into the queue, and based on some priority, we are going to delete the elements into the queue. Now here you see, imagine this is my priority box. So here I have given for this set of elements, for example 30 and 40, 0. So 0, this is having a highest priority. So I am assigning some highest priority. Based on this priority, we can do the operation. Either we can remove it first, or either you can delete, pop it out first. It's upon your choice. So based on some priority, we are going to insert the element into an array. Here I am telling 0, 0. Here it is this 30 and 40. 30 and 40 I am giving it as to highest priority. The element 30 and 40 goes to the highest priority. Then 11, 20 to 30 I am giving the next priority. I am giving the least priority to 99. So this priority is being assigned by us for our convenience. So we are based on some priority, we are going to insert and delete. So priority queue is a queue in which we assign the priority, where 30 and 40 I give it as, take it as highest priority. 11, 20 to 33 I am giving the next priority, next highest priority, and 99 I am giving the least priority. This is about your priority queue. Okay, next we will discuss D queue or double-ended queue. Next we will discuss about D queue or double-ended queue. D queue or double-ended queue. The name is self-explanatory. It tells us a queue will have both the ends. So both the ends are present on both the sides of the queue. I mean we can add and delete the elements on both the ends. So imagine this is your queue. Okay, I can insert the element. I can delete the element. Similarly, this end also I can insert. I can delete. Okay, so both back and flow, what we can do is, suppose I have the queue elements. From both the sides I can insert as well as I can delete. It has two ends, you are aware of, queue will have two ends. So from both the ends I can do the operations, both the operations, insertion and deletion. From this end also I can insert the element, I can delete the element. The other end also I can delete the element. So only it is called as double-ended queue. So it is called as double-ended queue. So I repeat the types of queues. So attestants should just listen. We have discussed about 4 types of queue. One is simple queue, next circular queue, priority queue, and DQ or double-ended queue. We are all aware of queue works in first in, first out fashion. So for the first simple queue, it has 2 ends, rear end and the front end. To the rear end, the insertion takes place. To the front end, the deletion takes place. Again, we have seen about the circular queue. Circular queue is also a type of queue where the last node, the last element is always pointing to your first element. It works in a circular fashion. Okay, next we have seen about priority queue. Based on some priority, the indexing has been done based on some priority. We assign the priority to the elements. So for few elements we are given highest, the next highest and the least priority. So based on this priority, we can perform insertion and deletion operation. Next, last but not least, we have seen about DQ or double-ended queue. So in double-ended queue, the insertion and deletion takes place at both the ends. So that we call it as double-ended queue. Next, we'll see, as we have seen in these stacks. So for in stacks, what we have seen, first we have seen the definition. Next, we have seen the memory representation. Here also in queues, again we'll see the memory representation. Next, we'll see the algorithm, applications and all. So before seeing the representation of the memory representation of queues, let me explain you the operation of queues. Even in the exam point of view, they may ask you the algorithms or else they may ask you the operations on stacks, operations on the data structures or operation on queues. Okay, so we have seen the operations on stacks. Now we'll see the operation on queues. Later we'll move on to the memory representation. So in the operations of queues, students, see first we have queue. So this creates an empty queue, like how we have stacks, it will create an empty stack for you. Queue function call, when you call this operation, when you call this function, it creates an empty stacks for you. Okay, it's empty queue for you. If you call it as a stack, an empty stack will be created. If you call it as queue function call, an empty queue will be created. Now in queue, it is similar to your push. Okay, push what will do, will insert the element into the stacks. Here enqueue is nothing but again here you are inserting an item or the element into your queue. It is similar to your push operation in your stack. So enqueue, what will you do? You insert an element into the queue. So enqueue, what we do? We insert the item or the element into the queue. Through what end we are going to insert? Always I told you insertion takes place at the rear end. So we keep this in your mind when I talk about enqueue. So we need to remember this inserting an element in the element or item into the queue by using a rear end. Now DQ. DQ is similar to your pop. I mean you are removing the element into the queue. So when you remove the item, or the element, that takes place with the help of your front end. So we call that as the DQ. NQ means inserting the element into the queue. DQ means you are removing the item into the queue. So for this we are going to use rear end. For this we are going to use front end. Now is empty. You are going to check how we check the overflow and the underflow of the stack. Here also we will check whether the queue is empty or not. So for that you call a function called this empty. This empty will tell you that whether the queue is empty or not. Next we go for size of the queue. Size will return the number of elements which is present in the queue. Similar to your stack operation, here also we have size. So size will return the number of elements which is present in the queue, the size of the queue. So I repeat, we have discussed the operation of the queue. We have queue, enqueue, DQ is empty, size. Okay, in stack also we have stack, we have push, pop is empty, size and peak. Okay, please do remember the operations. Next we'll go for the memory representation. So next we'll see the memory representation of queues by using arrays, and we have to see again the memory representation of queue using linked list. Okay, so now we see the memory representation of queue using arrays. So here you see I have taken first condition. I will explain you. I have taken a queue. So it is having 2 ends, front end and the rear end. From rear end I have inserted the elements. From front end I am going to delete the elements. So from the rear end I have inserted A, B, C, D. So my front is equal to 1. My rear, where it is pointing to the index 4. I repeat, my front is pointing to 1. So if I want to delete, I can delete from front. If I want to delete, I should increment front. If I want to insert, I have to increment rear. Understanding? If I want to do this, I have to go vice versa. So if I want to insert insert the element, I need to use the rear end. So if I want to delete, I use the front end. First front is equal to 1, rear is equal to 4. Next again I have, see, for insertion I will explain you. Now if I want to insert an element at the 5th position, now front is pointing to 1 here, rear is pointing to 5. So imagine I want to insert the element Q of rear, I am giving the item E. Now E I am inserting at 5th position, so I am using rear is equal to rear plus 1. So it will keep on going in this way. So here I inserted the element E. By using the rear end, I inserted the element E. So rear will become rear plus 1. So for insertion, here I am using an insertion. Which end I am using? I am using rear end. So which end I am incrementing? I am incrementing rear end. Why? Because to this end I have inserted the element E. Next, if I want to delete, now deletion takes place at the front end. So I can't delete E. First I have to go from this side. Why? Because it is having both the ends. So what comes first will be deleted first. So here I want to delete A. So my front will be pointing to 2. My rear will be pointing to 5. Here I have written here. My front is pointing to 2. My rear is pointing to 5. Now I deleted the element A. So here it was here in position 1. Now it is being deleted. When I am doing deletion operation, what I do? Q of front. So what was my Q of front? If I want to delete A, what was my Q of front? Q of 1. Q of 1, what we have? The element A or the item A. So now what your item will have? So your item will have A. So now what gets deleted? A gets deleted. So what will become your front? Now front will become front plus 1. Front will become front plus 1. Rear goes on this way. Front is incremented when I am doing a deletion. Okay, this will be helpful in your in your NQ and DQ algorithm. This is the logic. So when I delete, I will be telling the Q of front, I will give it to the item. Now front will become front plus 1. This is for deletion. When I give the element to Q of rear, that is for insertion. Okay, so here I am doing rear is equal to rear plus 1. This is about a memory representation. Here you need to talk about two conditions. Before knowing this, you need to talk about two conditions. That is, you will check front and rear. Okay, front and rear. So when front is equal to null, what will happen? All the elements will be deleted. My Q will be empty. When front is equal to null, I can tell when front equal to null. So when front is equal to null, that means the Q is empty. You will check for the Q is underflow. Okay. When rear is equal to n, when rear reaches the n size, when rear reaches the maximum size of your Q, that time you will tell the Q is overflowing. When rear is equal to n or n minus 1, if it starts from 0, if you start storing it from 0, it will be n minus 1. If you start storing it from 1, the index 1, it will be n. So when this reaches the maximum size, we call it as the overflow. Same like your stack, underflow and overflow. Here we check both the ends. For deletion, since we are using front, so when all the elements are deleted, the Q will be empty. So front is equal to null, that means the Q is empty. When rear is equal to n, that means the Q is overflowing, that reaches the maximum size. Next we will see the memory representation of a Q by using the linked list. So now we will see the memory representation of linked list. So the memory representation of Q using linked list. So see, I have taken the example of the linked list. How we are going to represent the Q by using linked list. Has stored the element 50, 25 and 20. So we know that Q linked list contains two parts. One is the data part and the info part. Next we have the link field. The link field will have the address of the next node. The data field or the info field will have the element. I repeat, the data field, here we used to have the information or the element which has to be stored. Here we will have the address of the next element or the next node. Now this is your front end and this is your rear end. Through this we can insert, through front end we can delete. Since Q has both the hands, now I am going to do an insertion. So you can guess where do I insert and which end I use. So if I want to insert the element, imagine I want to insert 75. Now my element is 75, I want to insert here. Where should I insert? If I have an element 75, I have to insert at the rear end. So my insertion, so it will be same like this. I have an edge field, I have header, have the element. First I have element 50, then I have 25, next I have 20. So here instead of null, you just link to your another element to rearranged. I am adding. I am giving the address of this field, the next node 75. Here I have null. Okay, now this is your rearranged. Okay, so through your rearranged, that means by using the rearranged I inserted. Now this is your friend. So by using your rear, I added a new item called 75. I removed the null part here from 20. I am linking this node to the next node, that is 75. Now your rear is pointing here. Okay. So now your 20 is pointing to the address of the next field. Okay. Next, this is about insertion. That means I have added an element at the rear end. That is the element to be added is 75. Next is deletion. Okay. Now here only I tell you, when I want to delete, what will happen? In the deletion part, so obviously I have to delete here. What is your first come first serve? So your first element to be inserted was 50. Now I removed that. Okay. Now I removed that. This is your head field. It will be like this. Now this will be your friend. Okay. So when I use a deletion, it always takes place from the front. When I do an insertion, it takes from the rear. This is about the memory representation of linked list of queues as well as the memory representation of queues by using arrays. This is the memory representation of queues using linked list. We have inserted the element into a rear and we deleted by using friend. Next we see very important concept, the algorithm for NQ and DQ. So now let me check, very important for your exam point of view, for your board exam. They may ask you push and pop algorithm or linear search or binary search or the sorting, or else they may ask you the algorithm for NQ and DQ. NQ means insertion, DQ means deletion. Now they may ask you the algorithm for inserting an element into a queue. Write an algorithm for inserting an element into the queue, or NQ if they ask write an algorithm for NQ, you are supposed to write this algorithm. So here we have, if rear is equal to n minus 1, I told you when you are using rear, you are checking the queue is overflowing, or the queue we have reached the maximum size of the queue by inserting the element. You will check whether the queue has reached to the maximum size. For example, I have a queue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My n value is 6. So rear is equal to n minus 1 means 6 minus 1 is 5. If I reach 5, I tell my queue maximum size is reached. So I just use the maximum size of my queue. So I tell the queue is overflowing. You will check rear is equal to n minus 1. So what is my n? N is equal to 5. Now what will be your rear? Your rear is nothing but 5 minus 1, that is 6 minus 1. Your n is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your n is 6. So your n minus 1, that is 6 minus 1. Your rear will become now n minus 1, that is 6 minus 1. You have 5. So now your rear is 5. Okay. Understood? Now print overflow. If you reach this maximum size, we have to tell that is overflowing. Imagine this is your front end and this is your rear end. Okay, these are the two pointers which are pointing toward the queue, where front is pointing to 0 position, rear is pointing here. So you need to first, initially it will be pointing, both will be pointing here only. So rear will be keep on incremented. Initially when you are not inserted anything, rear also and front also will be pointing to the same end only, that is 0. Okay, now if front is equal to null, after deleting everything, if front is equal to null, that means you are checking whether this one is empty. That means your queue is empty. Then you are initializing front is equal to 0, null is equal to 0 once all the elements are deleted. Now no elements are there. So initially front and rear is pointing to 0. Now you want to insert an element. Imagine I want to insert element A. So I am inserting my element A. Item A, I am giving it to queue of rear. What is my queue of rear? Queue of 0, I am giving it to A. I am giving A to the queue of rear, that is queue of 0. I am giving my item A. So queue of 0, here queue of 0, I am giving the item A. Okay. Now your rear gets incremented. Rear will become rear plus 1. Now your where will be pointing here. So now I am giving the element B. Q of 1, I am giving the item B. Okay. Again your where will be incremented. I am giving Q of 2, I am giving the element C. Again your where will be incremented. So D. Q of 3, I am giving D. Next Q of 4, your where will be incremented. Q of 5, your where will be incremented. Then again when the maximum size is reached, here it will tell rare is equal to 5, that is till F5 added. So this is my rare end. Now my rare is pointing to the position 5. So till we reach here, see, I have added Q of 0A, Q of 1B, Q of 2C, Q of 3D, Q of 4E, Q of 5. I have inserted the element 5. Sorry, I have inserted the element F. So Q of 5, I have inserted the element F, that is my rare end. When it reaches to a maximum size, my Q is overflowing. So when Q is overflowing, I just print it as overflow and I exit of the program. So when I want to delete, that I will show you in the DQ algorithm. This is only inserting an element into an algorithm. Next we will see the DQ algorithm. Okay, next we will see the algorithm for deletion, or it is also called as DQ. So we have 3 steps here. First we will check if friend is equal to null, then we will tell that the Q is equal to, that is the Q is empty. When friend is equal to null, we will check the underflow whether Q is empty or not. So when friend is equal to null, we will print the message it is underflow, exit. Now if you want to delete, if I want to delete my Q of friend, I will give it to my item. So initially my item, what is my item? What is my Q of friend? Now I want to delete. Deletion always takes place from your front end. So Q of friend, that is Q of 0. I have the element Q of 0. I have 10. Now item 10. Item is equal to 10. I am going to delete my item 10. That is nothing but my initially Q of 0. So I am deleting this 0. What is there in the 0th position? 10. Now I am deleting 10. Now what will happen? If this condition takes place, this I will check later. Next it will be friend is equal to friend plus 1. Again this F gets incremented. Friend will become friend plus 1. Okay. So now what is my Q of 1? Q of 1 is 20. I delete 20. Again friend is incremented. So F will be here. Again what is Q of 2? I have 30. 30 is deleted. Now friend and rare are pointing to the same index, that is 3. Here they are telling if friend is equal to rare, then Q has only one element. So where when, see now I have only one element in my Q, that is 40. At what condition friend and rare will become equal? Friend and rare becomes equal only when the Q is having one element. Now again what is there in your Q of 340? I delete 40. Okay. So all the elements get deleted. So now your friend is equal to null. At this condition your Q is empty. Okay. See, when friend and rare becomes null, the Q is empty. Friend is equal to null, rare is also equal to null. I have deleted all the elements. When friend and rare are pointing to the same position, that means the Q is having only one element. So if you want to delete, you are incrementing your friend is equal to friend plus 1. You are giving the item to Q of friend, Q of 0, Q of 1, Q of 2, Q of 3. At the last element, if friend is equal to rare, that means your Q is having only one element. You delete both, you delete that, and both will be pointing to null. Now when friend is equal to null, you can tell that the Q is empty. So this is about your Q. At the last, we will see at the end. Now we have reached the end of Q's concept. We will see the application. We will wind up. In the next session, we will see the new concepts. Next we will see about the applications of Qs. So application of Qs, this is your last concept. So we have the applications that we call it as simulation. First we have the first application of Qs, we have simulation. So you are aware of when we just try to implement something, try to implement any software, we can't implement as and then because it will be much more cost effective. So before doing it practically, before bringing it to a live project, we always use the system softwares to simulate the real world things. The real world things have to be brought into the software. I call that as a simulation. Most of the simulations we use Qs. So where Qs are used to generate, to do these simulations, networking project or any other project, if you want to give the project, if you want to bring the project in the real-time environment, any project, so before going into implementation, if it is a big project, before the implementation cost will be in dollars or it will be in crores, it will be in billions and trillions of dollars. They are not what they do before getting into the work, before getting into the real-time plane, they just go for the simulation software. There we have there we are using queues, we are implementing queues. Then we have various features of OS, we have a number of features of OS. There again we see, let it be process management, let it be memory management. Here they spoke about in the operating systems we have many scheduling algorithms like round robin, different scheduling algorithms. There and all, again most of the features of OS, there they use queues. Next we have multi-programming platform system. So the execution of the program, where a multi-programming can be done, more than one program can be executed. So in the multi-programming concept, again the queues provides a platform for that. Again different types of scheduling algorithm. So this is one of the work of our operating system. The scheduling of the work has to be done by the OS, operating system. Here OS stands for operating system. So here the different types of scheduling algorithm. So the printer is, the output device is asking for memory, the input device is asking for memory. Okay, when the other programs will be in need of memory. So in such cases, who will be served first? That we call it as a scheduling. For which job you are allocating the memory and how much time you are allocating for that job, we call that as a scheduling algorithm. So many scheduling, this is for requesting the memory, because without the main memory a program cannot be executed. So operating system will do the scheduling algorithm, allocating the memory. So how much time for each job it takes, it has to keep track of all those things. So for different kinds of scheduling algorithm we use queues. So one of that is round robin technique. Round robin technique we have. We will not begin much what is round robin technique and all. Just you mentioned we are using queues in the round robin technique also. So next we have printer server routine. Even in the printer server routine we have the implementation of queues. Mostly in the operating systems. The operating system mostly implements the queue or the applications. We find the application widely in the OS, operating system. Simulations, multi-programming platform system, we have different scheduling algorithm like round robin scheduling algorithm and printer server routine. So this is about your queues. So I'll discuss what we discussed in today's class. I started freshly with another linear data structure called queues. So we have seen what is queue, the definition for queues, and we have seen the operation of queues. We have seen the memory representation of queues by using arrays and by using linked lists. Then we have seen the algorithms for NQ and DQ, inserting an element into a queue, deleting an element into a queue, and we have even discussed about the type. When we discussed about the definition for queue, we spoke about types of queue. Okay. Later we have seen, after discussing the algorithm for NQ and DQ, we have seen the application. So applications is the last concept of your queues. Thank you students. We will discuss the rest of the concept in the tomorrow's session.